This Japanese campervan sleeps 6, carries 7 people, runs a household-style air conditioner, and still fits into a body barely over 17 feet long. That is the NTB Sakura. At a price that might actually surprise you, it packs a full family camper into a footprint most vans can't match. So, let's take a look.
Motorhome luxury.
Let's start at the front. The Sakura is built by NTB, Nihon Tokushu body, on the Isuzu Be-Cam high-cab 2-ton platform with a 3-liter turbo diesel underneath. The whole body measures about 17 feet 2 inches long, just over 6.5 feet wide, and right around 10 feet tall. Those numbers explain the appeal: short enough for tight streets, tall enough to stand inside, and wide enough to keep the camper body practical without making it feel like a bus. From the front, the upright truck face, wide mirrors, and low windshield view give you a driving position that lets you judge the corners more easily than the tall rear body suggests. And the cab-over layout is why Japanese builders love this shape. In America, a short motorhome often has to sacrifice either the bed, the bathroom, or the lounge. Here, the cab sits over the front axle, so the living body begins almost immediately behind the seats. The result looks a bit like a small apartment riding on a work truck, but that is exactly what gives NTB room to stack functions instead of spreading them across a longer body. Now, let's move down the driver's side. 2 windows line up with the living area and the multi-room, each with blinds and screens. But the real story on this side is what's hidden behind the lower panels. Behind the front wheel, there's an access hatch for the main engine battery. Further back, a large ventilated panel houses the outdoor unit for the household-style air conditioner that's the compressor that makes off-grid cooling possible. Next to it, you'll find the FF heater service hatch with its stainless steel exhaust, and right beside that, the AdBlue fill point and the diesel tank. All the mechanical and climate systems are grouped on this side, keeping the passenger side clean for daily living. The body itself is also part of the story. NTB uses a Japanese 2-layer molded fiberglass shell, so the camper has a smooth, simple look rather than a bunch of panels stitched together. The graphics are restrained, the lower skirt keeps the storage and service areas neat, and the high sidewall gives you the first hint that this camper is hiding more headroom than its length should allow. Now swing around to the back, because this is where the Sakura begins to feel less like a tiny truck and more like a real touring machine. On rear bed layouts, the bed platform sits high enough to create a proper storage area underneath, and NTB gave you 2 separate doors to access that rear storage. There's one at the back and one on the passenger side. That means you can reach your gear from whichever angle is most convenient, parked tight against something behind you. Just walk to the passenger side and open the other door. Inside that storage, you have space for chairs, leveling blocks, hoses, tools, outdoor shoes, cables, and the dirty camping gear that normally ends up blocking the aisle. And remember that tall rear body we saw outside? We are about to see how it pays off inside, because that storage sits below a bed that can stay made up while the rest of the camper keeps working. Nobody has to tear apart the lounge just because someone wants to sleep. On a quick weekend, that sounds convenient. On a longer family trip, it starts feeling essential. Let's now look up at the roofline, because the power system up here is what makes the Sakura a serious off-grid machine. The Sakura can carry 4 200-watt solar panels as standard, with an option for a 5th panel to reach about 1,000 watts. Depending on trim, the system can include a 24-volt battery setup, a lithium package around 5 kilowatt-hours, a 2,000-watt inverter, alternator charging, shore charging, a max fan, and either a 24-volt cooler or a household-style air conditioner. Most camper vans this size offer a single solar panel and a basic battery. The Sakura gives you a power system built around actually running an air conditioner, a microwave, and a full-size refrigerator off-grid. Add the ENE Cruise Block 2 option and an additional lithium battery, and even extended off-grid stays become realistic. The roof also handles ventilation equipment and can carry roof rails without looking overloaded, because the tall body already has the height for it. Coming around to the passenger side, the Sakura finally turns from truck to home. This is where you get the entrance door, electric step, entry light, and the main way into the living space. The handrails are positioned right inside, which matters because this is a tall cab-over camper with a proper step up into the cabin. There's also the option to add a side awning on this side. giving you a shaded outdoor area right next to the entrance, perfect for setting up chairs, cooking outside, or just sitting in the shade after a long drive. But there's more tucked into this side than just the door. Behind the front wheel, you'll find access panels for the main battery and sub-battery systems. In the middle section, the roughly 12.5-gallon freshwater tank sits behind its own hatch, with a dedicated fill point and a drain valve. Further back, the 13-gallon water tank sits inside the rear storage compartment. And there are 2 separate shore power inlets, one in the rear storage and one near the bumper, so you can hook up from whichever side is closest. 3 side windows line up with the bunk, the kitchen, and the rear bedroom, each with blinds and screens. So we've walked the full way around. Everything has a place before the interior even begins. But fair warning, what is inside makes the outside feel like the warm-up act. So, without any further ado, let's enter through that door and see what's inside. Step inside and the height suddenly stops looking strange. You can stand, turn, reach cabinets, and move through the aisle without crouching around every corner. That extra vertical space gives the Sakura room for overhead storage, a usable multi-room, a proper rear bed, and an over-cab sleeping zone, all in a body that is only a little longer than a large SUV. One more detail helps the cabin feel friendlier. The entry doesn't dump you into a dead corner. You step into the center of the living space, with the dinette forward, the kitchen beside you, and the rear bedroom in sight. That single movement tells you the Sakura is compact, but it is not chopped into awkward little boxes. Right by the entrance, the practical details come first. There is a shoe area near the step, handrails on both sides, and a control zone placed where you can reach it as soon as you climb in. Lighting, tank monitoring, battery information, ventilation, water pump controls, inverter switches, and charging equipment are grouped where they belong. After parking, you are not crawling under cushions just to wake the camper up. Look forward and the Sakura becomes a family camper rather than a 2-person rig with emergency cushions. The cab can seat 3 across, and the living area adds belted travel seating behind it, giving the Sakura a listed riding capacity of 7. Once parked, those seats become part of the lounge. The table lowers, cushions fill the space, and the travel area turns into the main dinette without needing a separate slide-out. The dinette is also where the Sakura keeps the everyday side of camping under control. You get a proper table for meals, laptop work, cards, or quick coffee stops, and the surrounding seats sit close enough for a family to actually talk without shouting across the cabin. Cup holders, curtains, LED lighting, and nearby outlets make it feel like the main living room rather than just the place where the travel seats happen to be parked. But the first sleeping surprise is hiding above the cab. The special edition stretches the bunk by about 4 inches over older versions, giving it a depth of roughly 6 feet 7 inches and a maximum width just under 6 feet. There's even a slide-out extension built into the bunk that lets you increase the sleeping surface when you need it. Add the ladder, lighting, USB points, and nearby outlets, and this becomes a proper bed zone rather than a token shelf above the windshield. Kids will probably claim it first, but adults are not automatically ruled out. Remember that number though, because the sleeping layout is going to add up fast. Move back into the middle, and the kitchen uses the narrow floor plan carefully. You get a sink with a glass lid, storage above and below, a microwave, and a full household-style refrigerator with a separate freezer compartment, the kind of fridge you'd expect in an apartment, not a camper van. The sink lid gives back prep space. The drawers keep cooking gear from sliding around, and the fridge is large enough for an actual trip instead of a few bottles and snacks. There's also a flip-up countertop extension near the entrance door that gives you extra prep space when you need it. Fold it down when you're done and it's out of the way. Small kitchen decisions make a big difference here. The microwave is fixed in place. The counter doesn't feel wasted once the sink is closed, and the upper cabinets use the tall wall instead of eating into the aisle. On a rainy night, you can heat food, make drinks, grab something from the fridge, and still have the dinette available without the whole cabin turning into a traffic jam. But hold on, did you notice what's missing? There's no gas stove, no cooktop at all. The Sakura relies on the microwave and whatever portable cooking gear you bring along. If you're someone who loves cooking full meals on the road, that's a real trade-off. For reheating, quick meals, and convenience camping, the microwave works fine. But if you want to fry eggs or simmer a proper sauce, you'll need to bring your own portable burner. It's a design choice. NTB prioritized counter space and the fridge over built-in cooking. Whether that works for you depends on your style of camping. Let us know in the comments deal breaker or non-issue. So the kitchen handles everyday needs in a tight space. But what's behind the next door might be the cleverest trick in the whole camper. Opposite the kitchen is the multi-room, which can work as a washroom, shower space, toilet room, changing area, or gear closet depending on how the Sakura is ordered. Standard setups use portable fresh and waste tanks, while the electric boiler package upgrades the system with larger fresh and waste tanks, hot water, a shower, a mixer faucet, and the furniture pieces needed to make the room actually usable. Inside, the details are simple but practical. A waterproof pan underfoot, a drain, ventilation, a mirror mounted on the door, upper storage, and a Rappin manual wrapping toilet, a uniquely Japanese system that seals each use in airtight film, so there's no cassette to empty and no chemicals to deal with. It is a compact Japanese utility room that handles the awkward jobs without stealing half the vehicle. Shower, change clothes, store wet gear, or close it off as a toilet space, and the rest of the camper can keep functioning. Keep moving toward the rear, and the Sakura gives you choices depending on how you travel. There are 1-bed, 2-bed, double bed, wide bed, and rear entrance ideas in the wider Sakura family, but the rear bed versions are the ones that make this compact body feel most like a true motorhome. The bed can have spring support, a thicker mattress option, curtains, outlets, lighting, and windows for ventilation. So the back doesn't feel like a storage shelf with a cushion on top. Now the Sleep 6 promise finally comes together. In the rear, the 1-bed or double bed layouts give 2 people a permanent sleeping area with windows, curtains, lighting, outlets, and storage underneath. This is the calmest bed in the camper because it stays separate from the front lounge. Someone can go to sleep back here while the table, kitchen, and entrance area are still usable. That is 2 in the rear, but we are not done. Lower the dinette table and the lounge becomes another sleeping area for 2 more. That is 4. Then the overcab bunk takes the final pair. That is 6. Rear bed, dinette bed, cab over bunk. 3 separate sleeping zones in a camper barely over 17 feet long. That is how the Sakura sleeps up to 6, without turning the whole cabin into one giant mattress. Imagine the actual night setup. The rear bed can stay made. The dinette converts only when needed. The front bunk stays out of the walking path. The kitchen is still reachable. The entrance is still clear, and the multi-room doesn't disappear behind bedding. For a family camper, that separation is the real win, because everyone is not stacked on top of the same cushion puzzle. Turn back toward the cab, and the driving side keeps the Sakura modern. The latest Be-Cam equipment can include lane keeping assistance, all-speed following cruise, sign-linked speed limiting, collision mitigation braking, driver monitoring, rear camera systems, and surround view style monitoring depending on package. In a narrow Japanese street or a packed campsite, those cameras are more than a luxury. They help make the tall body feel manageable. The height gives you the cabin. The cab over base gives you the length. The rear hatch gives you the storage. The 3 bed zones give you the family layout. Everything that looks wrong from the outside is solving a problem on the inside. Now that you've seen the 3 sleeping zones, the household air conditioner, the multi-room, and that off-grid power system, let's talk about the number. The current Sakura 2 pricing starts around 16.4 million yen, depending on layout, with 4-wheel drive pushing it higher. In American money, that puts it around the $100,000 mark before any import costs. For context, that's roughly what you'd pay for a well-equipped Class B campervan, except the Sakura gives you a 3-zone sleeping layout, a full multi-room, and a power system that most Class Bs cannot match. It is not cheap, but it plays in a different league for its size. But here's the catch we mentioned at the start. The Sakura is a Japan-only product. It's not sold in America. Importing it means dealing with shipping, customs duties, compliance modifications, and potentially a long-wait NTB builds to order with lead times that can stretch to 2 years or more. And in Japan, you actually need a special license to drive it because of its gross vehicle weight. So if you're thinking of buying one, this isn't a walk-in and drive-off situation. It's a commitment. But for those willing to go through the process, the Sakura offers a family camper layout that nothing in America can match at this footprint. So, with the price, the power system, the 3-zone sleeping setup, and that compact cab-over body in mind, is the NTB Sakura too weird for America or too good to ignore? Let us know in the comments. And if you want to see a camper van that solves the space problem in a completely different way, Check out the Heimer Venture S. Click on this video, and we will see you soon at a new luxury motorhome.